Welcome back to the Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel. This is the space where we peel back the layers of conditioning and self-doubt and never enoughness to remember who you really are beneath that voice in your head that says you're not ready or you're not worthy or you don't have enough or you're not doing it right. I'm Joanna Kleinman, psychotherapist and CEO of the Dethroning Your Inner Critic coaching and consulting company and the creator of the Mind Method. So, this is a juicy one today. Let's talk about who you know yourself to be right now. Because the truth is, you've spent your whole life becoming someone. And that's someone that knows exactly what they want, what they don't want. You've built your life. You've built your relationships. You've built your routines, even your goals around not having to feel certain emotions. Now, we all do this. We all design our lives to protect ourselves from what we fear the most, which is usually feeling in some way not good enough, or like an imposter, or feeling unworthy of love or success, or feeling some shame that whispers, you don't have what it takes, or you should be further along by now. Now, that is the identity that your inner critic built. And that identity is brilliant at its job, which is keeping you from ever having to feel those uncomfortable emotions ever again. But here's the thing. This isn't something that you choose consciously. It is a design that your brain created automatically, really subconsciously, long before you realized that that was happening. So, from the time that you were a child, your brain was scanning the world for emotional safety. So, every time you felt unseen or criticized or rejected, your brain made a mental note that hurt. Let's make sure that that never happens again. And because your brain's main job is to keep you safe, not happy, it built an identity that could predict and prevent emotional pain. Now, that identity, that's your inner critic identity. And that is not who you really are. It's who your brain thinks you need to be to survive, to feel safe. So your brain is always predicting what's going to happen next based on what it's learned from the past. So if you felt invisible or not good enough, maybe starting early in your childhood, your brain learned to predict the same pattern in adulthood. And now it filters your entire world through that lens. So it is like wearing tinted glasses that tints everything you see, but you don't even realize that you're wearing them. You just think, oh, that's reality. That's the color of everything, right? So that's why people repeat the same patterns. That's why you repeat the same patterns. Maybe it's in your relationships. Maybe it's with money. Maybe it's with self-worth. Maybe it's in your career. Maybe you've reached levels of success, but it can feel kind of empty, or there are these other important areas of your life that aren't working well. So your brain is filtering reality to confirm the old prediction. Oh, see, I told you, right? I'm really not good enough for this. Or, see, I knew I couldn't trust people. Or, see, I knew that I always have to do it by myself. Now, to make it even more complicated, your brain also gets addicted to the dopamine hit that comes when you finally do have something that happens that makes you feel good enough or loved enough or validated or reaching that certain level of success. So each time you achieve something or you get that praise or validation, you get a little burst of, oh, okay, safety. But it doesn't last because your brain believes that safety comes from out there in the world, from achievement, from validation, from attention. So it's constantly scanning. I need to make sure that everybody sees me as smart or successful. And I need to make sure that no one's ever disappointed in me or that everybody thinks I'm super helpful. I need to overfunction, right? And I need to make sure that I'm always admired, right? Or whatever version that is for you, whatever particular version of enoughness yours is, your brain clings to it to avoid pain. Now, that dopamine hit is temporary. It's like this pendulum swing, right? Relief one moment and then right back into fight, flight, freeze, waiting for the next thing or the next shoe to drop, right? Or the next thing that you need in order to feel calm and safe and secure again. Okay. So this is why we get stuck chasing that next goal, that next milestone, that next fixed. Your brain isn't sabotaging you. It's really trying to protect you, but your brain just doesn't realize that true safety doesn't come from trying to control the outside. It comes from inside. It comes from trust. It comes from viewing life not with a clenched fist trying to control everything, but with an open hand. Okay. Now, this is where it gets interesting because your brain isn't just seeing reality, it's predicting reality. So every moment it's running a simulation of what it expects will happen next, and it filters out anything that doesn't match. So that's why patterns repeat. That's why you keep seeing the same story over and over and over again. The belief always comes first, the proof always comes later. Now, you can't have anything you simply desire, and you can't have anything that you simply believe. You have to align the two. You have to align the desire and the belief. So you have to close the gap between what you desire and what you believe. Because if you desire something that your nervous system doesn't feel safe having, your nervous system's going to block it every single time. So maybe you desire more money, but deep down, you believe that wealth means some sort of sacrifice, right? Like people are going to leave you if you have too much money, or you're going to burn out, or it's too greedy, right? Maybe you desire a loving partnership, but you still believe that love leads to rejection or pain. Maybe you want confidence, but you believe that you're just not someone that people will take seriously. So that's the gap between desire and belief. And that gap is what creates resistance. It creates self-sabotage. It creates fear. So closing that gap means you have two choices. Either you downgrade the desire or you upgrade the belief. Now, hear me out. Downgrading the desire doesn't mean you're giving up on your dream. It means reformulating it so it feels believable right now. Okay, right? So instead of, I want a 7-figure business, you might start with, I want to grow my business in a way that feels peaceful and aligned with what I want to create in the world. So now this is how you slow down the moving train so your brain can keep up. Now, if you don't want to downgrade the desire, then you need to upgrade your belief. So that means teaching your brain that what you want is safe. It's safe to be seen. It's safe to be vulnerable. It's safe to succeed. It's safe to receive love without earning it. So when your desire and your belief are aligned, you feel it in here. It feels peaceful. It feels like relief. It feels like truth. And that's when your life starts to unfold with ease because your brain finally believes what your heart has always known. So the next time you feel resistance or tension or self doubt, pause and listen to it because that's your inner critic talking. And you can learn a lot from your inner critic, right? That's the voice that says, who do you think you are? You're not good enough for this. You're not ready for this. You should be further along by now. Why does everything happen for other people and it doesn't happen for me? Don't fight this voice. Don't try and silence it or shove it down. Get curious about it. So ask yourself, what is my inner critic saying about my desire right now? Does my inner critic believe that my desire is too big? Right? Or maybe, is my belief too small for what I truly desire? So that question, just that inquiry, just that observation starts to open the door to more freedom. Now, this is how you step out of the automatic story, literally unhook yourself from your inner critic's automatic story and start to lean into the truth of who you're becoming. And you're becoming this glimpse by glimpse by glimpse by glimpse. So once you start to notice this pattern where your inner critic is always kind of saying the same thing and you're merging with that inner critic voice, now that you're the witness of it, now you can start to reprogram it. Now you do that by very deliberate, conscious intentions. So you have to write down your new intention. You have to read it. You have to say it out loud. You have to visualize that in your mind's eye every day because your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you practice this consistently, you're teaching your brain to expect a new outcome. Now, this is how you literally rewire your neural pathways. This is how you turn belief into a physical, energetic embodiment. Every time you rehearse your new identity. Now, your new identity is your future self. It's the you that you're becoming. So every time you rehearse that new identity in your mind and you're writing it down and you're reading it and you're visualizing it, you literally are changing your brain. And eventually your mind begins to filter reality in a whole new way. So you'll start to notice opportunities and people and synchronicities that align with who you're becoming because your brain now finally knows that this new version of you is safe. And that's when you stop living from that old survival mechanism, that fight, flight, freeze in your nervous system, and you start living from creation. That's how you step into freedom and purpose and peace, not because life has changed, but because you're changing what's going on in here. Now, if this resonated with you, if you're ready to start living from alignment instead of fear, I do want to personally invite you to join my Mastering Your Mind community. Now, I'm very particular about who I let in, so we have to meet over Zoom and make sure it's the right fit. But if you're hungry for this kind of transformation, this community is changing lives all over the world. So, inside of the Mastering Your Mind community, you'll learn how to use the mind method to rewire your thoughts and regulate your nervous system, and finally create the emotional freedom and purpose you've been craving. And you'll be surrounded by incredible women who are breaking generational patterns and releasing old identities and becoming who they were always meant to be. Now, if you feel called to bring this kind of transformation to others, maybe to become a certified coach or use this powerful methodology to help people create real growth, then I invite you to explore the Mind Method Certification Program. It is an ICF certified program, so you'll graduate as a credentialed coach through the International Coaches Federation. And this program is open to both men and women, and it gives you the exact tools and everything you need to guide other people through their deepest transformation of their lives while continuing to evolve your own transformation. So you'll find all the links in the show notes below. You can also go to masteringyourmind.com and schedule a time to connect with me over Zoom. When you master your own mind, you don't just change your life, you become the kind of person who can change the world around you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You'll find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Your next chapter is just waiting for you. And I cannot wait to meet you inside.